hell, that thing sounds good. Oh, sneak peek of what we're taking away, by the way, for season 10 of All for Adventure. Anyway, how's it going, guys? It's Jase here. It's time for another Ask Jase. So all the questions have been coming in, and I've got a whole new line of questions here that people are asking me to answer. So if you haven't sent in any questions, go for it. Send some questions in, because I'll tell you what, people are loving it. So hopefully I can give you the information that you need, all the information that you're chasing. All right, here we go. Number one. So this is from George. How you going, George? If you're watching, George H. Don't know what H stands for, maybe George Harry. When you're making your episodes, okay, what do you work out? No, hang on. When you're making your episodes, how do you work out how much food to take? Do you prepare meals ahead of time and freeze them? Well, George, hell no. I'm not eating TV dinners or frozen food. Why would I do that? Yeah, I get grandma to cook up a big pot of spaghetti. No, it doesn't happen. Don't do that. That would probably be a good idea, actually. I might think of it. No, anyway, no, we don't do that. What we do is we go to the supermarket, Simon and myself, and we just buy fresh fruit and veg as much as we can. Now, there's a lot of tricks involved in basically the storage of that fresh fruit and veg. I'll tell you what, you've got to have 12-volt refrigeration. There's no doubt about it. The 12-volt refrigeration, gone are the old days of the esky and the ice box and all that, and wet sandwiches and, you know, the bag of chicken full of water, half full of water. Those days are gone. 12-volt refrigeration, which means you can store fresh fruit and veg for longer periods in your truck, in the hot temperatures up north or the cold climate down south. So, realistically, I've got to sort of buy twice as much food for Simon and half as much for me. There you go. So, but what we do is we try and cook up some fresh veggies every night. So veggies, either some piece of meat or a piece of salmon. Oh, we're big fans of salmon, and we're big fans of catching our own fish and eating that as well. And then every now and again, we'll cook up a damper, chuck it in the camp oven, and we'll have that at the end of our meal as well. So it's sort of like a bit of a treat. And then what you do is you get that damper, and then you use the rest of it and you wrap it up in a tea towel and you have it next day for smoko with a bit of jam. How good's that? So yeah, no, we cook everything out in the field. We've got it down to a fine art. We can rock into a supermarket and we know exactly what we want. Potatoes, pumpkin, we need broccoli. We don't use corn anymore because it's a huge cob of corn and it's got all these little bits of yellow stuff on the outside and you throw it away. It's too bulky. You wouldn't think that, would you? Anyway, thank you, George, for your question. All right, who else we got here? We got Billy T. How you going, Billy? Okay, hi, Jase. I always look forward to your adventures. Thanks, Bill. I know you have the magic of television at hand, but do you guys get punctures, blowouts, shredded tyres, and the like? Well, Billy, that's a fair and legitimate question. Yes, the magic of television, smoke and mirrors. 5 minutes you're watching us in the bog takes 5 hours. That's the magic of television. But to answer your question, I'll tell you what, no, I kid you not. I do not be spending that much time in the bush with damaged tyres. I kid you not. The tyre that we use is the MTZ P3. So it's the Mickey Thompson Mud Terrain. Tough as nails. I tell you, I do use a plug kit. So I've got a plug kit because the punctures I get is a roofing screw in my tyre driving around the car park at Woolworths. So we don't actually get the punctures and shredded tyres that, you get with, I don't know what sort of brand of tyre you use, but we don't get it. So there you go, mate. Hopefully, Billy, that answers the question. Take a puncture, take a plug kit because they are gold. Alrighty, who we got here? We got Robin. Robin T. How you going, Robin? Robin's question is, have either of you ever been badly hurt? And then she's got in brackets, hope not. Thanks, Robin. Yes. I don't know whether you watched this episode. I was in the Kimberley and we were on this absolute painful track. Like it was an awesome track, but it was tough going. And I was rolling these big boulders away out of the trailer from this big jump up that we were going up. And I got a hernia. Now, luckily, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, because they do say that when a hernia pops out, pushing through the wall or the wall and muscle of your gut. So it's your gut popping out through the muscle. If that makes sense, I'm not a doctor. Anyway, your gut pops out through your muscle and you've got this big bulge out here. They reckon if it gets strangulated, so that means if the muscle closes in around it, clamps your wall, the lining of your gut, and then next thing you know, you've cut off your gut, that bit dies because you're out in the bush and you can't get medical help, and it's all bad. Now, I was extremely paranoid that was going to happen, so I made sure that when I slept at night, I slept and I pushed it back in and all this sort of stuff. So if you could say we've been badly hurt, that would be the one time where I was probably worried the most. I'm pretty sure I didn't ring the wife and tell her until it was all good, because we were literally in the middle of nowhere. Would have been a bit of a mission to get me out to the hospital on that one, but it was all good. I got the operation when I came home, and now I'm 100%. So there you go. Robin, thank you. Very legitimate answer, that one, or question. Hopefully that answers your question. Alrighty, who we got left? We got Andrew H. How you going, Andrew? Okay, hi Jase. I have a stock four-wheel drive, apart from tyres. What would be the first upgrade you would do? Andrew, this is a very common question asked by myself and Simon all the time, especially at the 4x4 shows. Okay, so you've got tyres on your virtually stock four-wheel drive. The second thing I would go with is suspension. The third thing, I would go with frontal protection. Why? Well, suspension. When you're up on those rough, rattly dirt roads, you're carrying everything, including this kitchen sink, as per normal, you're gonna need good suspension, otherwise your car is going to rattle to bits. Okay, so don't be afraid to get a little bit of lift in your car. Get some heavier springs because of the load that you're carrying, okay? Frontal protection, why frontal protection? Here's a scenario. I've got the family in the car, packed them up. We're going on our 2-week trip to the top of Cape York because this is the trip we've planned for the last 3 years. And we've got our four-wheel drive and there's no bull bar on the front. We drive down the road, Skippy jumps across, bang. Skippy ends up through the radiator and poor old Skippy, but poor old family trip, because I tell you what, one, the Skippy could come over the bonnet and through the windscreen, remember that? Okay. Two, it'll instantly destroy your radiator, which means the car stops. Now, if you had frontal protection, just a bull bar even, you're replacing the front bumper, you've got a bit of impact protection there. Old Skippy hits the bull bar, deflects off, he's gone, you keep going on your holiday. There you go. Hope that answers your question. Here we go. I think that's all we got time for today. Thank you, Andrew. And I'll see you guys next time on Ask Jase. And don't forget to send in some more questions. See you guys.